Good morning, it's Shayla from Making Lemonade from Lemons, and I just thought I would take you guys around and show you what's going on in my garden. I still have some of the fall, summer crops still in my grow bags, and then I do have some of my fall crops already planted in grow bags, and then there are some that I just got from Baker Creek and in my gardener, and so I'll be working on some of those inside before I plant them outside. And then there are some others that I will, like my parsnips and stuff like that, that I just got that I will go ahead and work on. We're probably going to work on them tomorrow, my kids and I. But I'll show you guys what I have going on. So let me turn you around. Okay, so as you see, there are my beans over there. The peas, I'm getting like 4 or 5 pods a day of peas a day, which, you know, if I save them up, it's okay. But anyways, I think next year I'm just gonna make sure to devote one full 200-gallon bed to peas, and that should give me, like, if I pick a couple of days, then that should give me enough for our family to eat, at least eat. If I do 2 of the beds, then because these are the purple hull pink eye peas, if I did 2 beds, I might be able to get enough to preserve or to share with my mom and dad. So I might do 2 beds of those, and then 2 beds of the bush green beans. My pole beans are starting to actually put out. I am getting a couple of handfuls a day of the green beans, but still, it's really not enough for anybody to do anything with, except for maybe to just eat on as they leave the garden, which is what my boys have been doing. Let me show you what I have over here. Okay, so these are, this is one of my jalapeno plants, and as you see, there's lots of blossoms on it. It's still got lots of jalapenos on it, and it's doing great. It's in the same bag as these cayenne peppers, and as you see, the cayennes are also doing great, blooming like crazy, and lots of little cayenne peppers. And I have one set of cayenne peppers that are drying already, that are in my dryer. I've got a couple, like here's one that's ready to pick, but I'll leave it on there. It won't hurt it to stay on there for a day or 2. But this, like, look how tall it is. I mean, it's probably, the plant is probably about 3.5 feet, if you don't count the height of the bag. So it's a really good, it's very healthy, definitely. All right, my herbs. So my sage is looking pretty decent. I need to take some of the sage in and dry it. And my chives are not doing great because they're overshadowed by this is the cinnamon basil, and it's putting on some new growth because I have taken some of that inside, and I have preserved some of that as well, dried some of that. Then here's one of my tomato plants, and I've got, this is Boxcar Willie, and I think this one is, even though it's a little bit diseased, I mean, you see the brown spots. Let's see if you can see that. Maybe this will be better. It's hard to focus and with the right lighting and everything, but there's, you know, you see the brown spots and stuff. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, that this is blight. It's pretty much all over the entire plant except for the new growth. And if you look at the new growth looks really healthy. And I can focus on, focus, maybe not. I don't know if you can see that or not, because I don't think it wants to focus. There we go. It's got blossoms. And I've got several places where there's new blossoms on this plant. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave this one because it's a really good tomato. It's a really decent producer of nice, big, pretty tomatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one. While I'm over here, because I have a pumpkin over here right beside me, I'm going to show you my pumpkins. And as you see, there's squash bug eggs on the plant, and there is powdery mildew on the plant. But I really kind of expect this to be the end of this one anyways. But I have a pumpkin down here, you can see it, that is starting to turn. It's a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, but it is not, even though it's a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, it's really not very big. And probably, I don't know exactly why, but anyways, it's not terribly big. We might just use those as decorations. I've got another one down all the way at the very end, and I'll show you it whenever I get down there. That is ready to pick. As you see, it's just a jungle in there, but that's... Okay, so these were diseased leaves, and then these over here, those have just been eaten by squash bugs. But look. I've got blossoms all the way over here. And that's all from this one pumpkin plant. And if you look in here, look, I have tons of basil that has grown in here. And I know it's basil because I picked a couple of leaves and I smelled it. And I was so surprised because I was like, there's no way that that's basil. Because I didn't plant any basil in here. But sure enough, that is basil. Hi, kitty. Oh, I have a visitor. Hi, kitty. Hi. I've never seen this cat before. Hi there. Hi. Hi. You're so cute. I wonder where you came from. I wonder where you came from. I wonder where you came from. Hi. You probably want something to eat, huh? Yeah? Probably. Okay, I think I'm going to go inside and grab it something to eat, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I gave him some food. He's a little boy. He seems to be young. He was really thin though, so I gave him some food, and I think he's looking for more, but I don't have any more. I gave you all I had. Well, I mean, I have more cans inside, but that's one can, and I think that one can is okay. He's so cute. Yes, you are a cutie. Yes. Yes, I know. Yes. He's young. I don't know, probably about 5, 6 months, something like that, I would say. At first he didn't want to eat it, because all I have is some Vienna sausages. That's all I had. And dog food, and dog food is not okay for the cat, so, anyways. Hey there. He's so friendly. He's super friendly. I don't know if it's because he's hungry, and just needed some food. I don't know if maybe he's somebody's pet that I know. Anyways, I fed him. And so at least I know that he's okay. Yes, babe. Yes, I know. Okay. Alright, so let me get back to showing you. And if he decides to come along and if he decides to stay, then that's okay too. Alright. So this is my Brad's Atomic Grape. And my Brad's Atomic Grape tomato plant is, it's still doing okay and it's still producing somewhat. But as I've said in the past, the tomatoes burst a lot. I have a lot of problems with them bursting. This one is one of the good ones. So as you see, it looks really good. And it's still producing, so I'm not going to get rid of it yet, but soon. Because it's got little baby ones up there, and then it's also flowering. This is one of my Apalcas, and it's still got lots and lots of green ones. If you see in there, green ones. I've got a few that I need to take off, but like I said, it's got quite a few, and it's also flowering. So I'm going to leave it too. This one is another Boxcar Willie, and it also has the diseased leaves and everything, but the new growth looks good, so I'm going to leave it for right now. Actually, I take that back. I'm starting to see spots on this new growth. So this one I might be getting rid of, because I don't see any blossoms or anything like that, and I do see disease on, in fact, I see some that were going to be blossoms, but they already burned. So I'm probably going to go ahead and get rid of this tomato plant. My sweet chocolate peppers are still doing good. They don't have as many blossoms and stuff as some of my other peppers, but they have produced so well. I've gotten so many peppers off of these plants. I do still have peppers on them, so I'm going to leave it. And I think my little friend is already gone. Here's my lemon balm, and I took a lot of lemon balm inside and I dehydrated it and put it in jars. So I'm going to have to come in and do that again with these, and oh my goodness, I open up the jar and it just smells like lemons. It smells so good. And here's purple basil, and I've got oregano in there with it. The oregano didn't grow very well in that bag with the basil, and I think because it was just overshaded. Here I've got leaning tomato plants, and they're just all kind of mixed together. That one is a Rutgers. The tomatoes are pretty small, so I'm gonna go, they're like saladette type size, and that's all I've gotten from, oh, there he is. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that plant out, because I I really am not looking for that kind of tomato plant, and it's getting diseased and that kind of thing, so I'm going to take that one up. Then I have my Amish paste, which is right here. Hi, buddy. And it's doing well. And it's still, even though it looks diseased, there's lots of disease here, the new growth is looking good. And I'm not walking through there because there's a spider web, and I like my spiders to take care of other animals, other pests. This is my banana peppers, and as you see, there's lots of banana peppers and lots of little babies also. So these are doing great. There's, ooh, Dad, burn it. I didn't mean to get that in the spider web, but the spider web's still intact. One of my bell pepper plants is right there. And then on the other side of that bell pepper plant is another jalapeno plant, and it's doing well. So I'm going to leave those. And then here is one of my one of the things that my boys planted, and that is mustard and collards. They're all mustard and collards. And then these are my Cubanelles, sorry. And as you see, there's lots of little babies and flowers on these. This plant here in the front is starting to look a little droopy, but I had skipped watering them a couple of days because I was trying to stress out the plants to see if that would help them to produce a little bit of heat in the pepper, because that's what some of the internet things about the peppers said. These are my bell pepper plants, and as you see, lots of blossoms and peppers, and they're just really pretty peppers. And these are the Emerald Giant that I started growing because of Sarah at Living Traditions Homestead, and I will put a link to her. I'll put a link to her in my down below. And then here's some of my flowers that I grew. Well, actually, these are coleus, and if you see, they're huge. These were some that I had started. Where are ya? Oh. Hi. You just want me to know you're here still, huh? Is that what it is? Yep. Okay. Anyways, look at the little flowers on the coleus. It's really pretty. My husband had actually gotten me these whenever I was talking about that the bees hadn't come around. Back behind is a coreopsis that's blooming. They're all in the same planter, but the coleus kind of has overtaken the whole planter box. There's scarlet kale and the blue curled kale. And that's one that I did not cut back and just let it grow. I just took off all the bad leaves and let it regrow, and it's doing fine. Then I have a mess over there. There's still one Roma plant over there that I didn't take up before, and I'm going to. And then the San Marzano and the Purple Russian, which are the ones that are leaning. Even though the San Marzano, if you look closely over there, the leaves look really great on the San Marzano, and they are blossoming. I'm going to take those up because most of the blossoms that I have seen from them, or most of the tomatoes I've seen coming from the newer blossoms, have blossom end rot. And although I know that I can fix that problem making sure I water it, and maybe adding, because I have not fertilized these. I have not fed them at all for at least a month. So I could fix that, and I could, give them some calcium, or, like I said, make sure I just water them, like I should. I know, you're still here. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take that up. So anyways, then here it's one of my later tomatoes, but this one is pretty diseased. So after I get all the tomatoes off of this one, I'm probably going to take this one up. This is another Amish paste. It does have some diseased leaves to it, but it's putting out new growth, and it is blossoming, and I do see that I have some, looks like aphids. Some of what I might be thinking is disease too, could be from the aphids too. But anyways, so they're producing well. I just need to let them ripen and take them in. This is my Anaheim pepper plant, and this Anaheim pepper plant is looks like it's doing great. It's blossoming, putting out new. Well, there's actually two plants. One of them, the one back there, has quite a few big ones on it, so I'll have to harvest those soon. But these have little bitty ones. This is an Tabasco plant, and it's still blossoming. Lots of green and ripening tomatoes on it. Back in here are the black cherry tomatoes, and they are very diseased, and I'm going to take those up. The cherry tomatoes, my boys eat them, but not as much as, is worth me keeping them in whenever I can use them for something else. Like I can use them to plant some of my peas in, or my cabbage, or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and take those up, along with this San Marzano. Once the San Marzano, once the tomatoes are ripe, I'm going to get rid of those. This is Chadwick cherry, and it's got some disease on it, but there's quite a bit of good to it. So I'm going to leave these two. Hi, kitty. Yes. And it took off. I think it saw something it's chasing. So anyways, this is, right here is where the pumpkin plant originates, and it looks really bad through here. But as you could see over there, it's still blossoming and everything. And here is a pumpkin that I believe is ready. So I will have to get it, but it looks like something has been trying to bite it, gnaw into it. So once I take it in, I'm probably going to go ahead and process it instead of using this one as a decoration. So I'm not sure what has gotten into it. Anyways, it may just be that it's just scratched the surface of the pumpkin, and it may not have gotten down into the meat. I don't know. I'll have to pick it and check it out. Then I have these are my tomatillos, and if you see my tomatillos, look, they're doing fabulous. I've got lots of little ones that have been, the bumblebees have been working overtime on this plant. So there's lots of blossoms still, and lots of developing tomatillos. And there's one of my little bumblebee friends right there. And there's another one up in there. So I've got 3 tomatillo plants over here. They're all doing great. And these are over by my beans. And then I just have some foliage over here in some pots. And then if you see here, these are my Tabasco plants. And these are where I got my Tabascos to do my fermented Tabasco sauce, which is still fermenting. It's not been quite a week yet. So once it's been a week, I will do another, or actually once it's been 2 weeks, I'll do another update. So you guys will see how I process it from there. And then, like I said, these are my beans. These are my peas. These are the cream, I believe I can't remember if they're whippoorwill peas or cream-eyed peas. And then some of the green beans that are in here. So I need to get out here and I need to pick them and before they get too big. Anyways, so that's that. And then let me show you guys. This is my Dinosaur Kale, which is being eaten by something. Not sure. I know I have seen a grasshopper around here, so maybe that's what it is. And if you look on that bag real close, you can see a centipede. I have centipedes everywhere. But anyways, and then these are the volunteer tomatoes that came up in that same pot. This one is a purple Bumblebee tomato plant, and it's got lots of flowers and little baby tomatoes, but it's starting to get diseased and stuff like that already, and it's a pretty new plant. This one is a triple crop. It just was very late in getting here. So we'll see if it produces anything, then great. If not, that's okay too. Then I didn't show you guys the Poblanos because I got distracted. These are Poblanos, and they're doing great also. This Poblano plant, if it's straight, and even not counting the bag, would be about 5 feet tall. Because as it is, it's about 6 inches taller than me. And the bag, because my son didn't plant it as deep as he should have, or put in as much soil as he should have in this bag. So it's one of my shallow bags of soil. So it's probably about 5 foot, maybe a little bit less, but real close to it. But as you see, it's blossoming, lots of blossoms. And then underneath the Poblano plants are the peperoncinis, and they are blossoming still, and they look really healthy. And so I'm going to leave them. So all of my pepper plants look beautiful, and I'm probably going to leave them until first frost. So my pepper plants I will not get rid of. Then I have my strawberry plants, which I wasn't sure was going to do anything. And as you see, I've got baby strawberries. So we'll see if I get anything from those. Probably not. And even if I do, it'll just be little berries. But that's okay. And that's a lavender bush. And then these are my beets that are coming up. The Ruby Queen beet. There's another centipede. I've got my Chioggas here. These are Detroit dark red, and I'm assuming that that's what those are, but maybe not. Right here's one. And then over here are coming up my early wonders. Not sure what happened there, but My turnips look like they're doing well, and so is the Swiss chard and the carrots too, and I will have to thin them out after they start growing better. But anyways, I just thought I would bring you along to let you see what's going on in my garden. And you got to see our little visitor who took off just a little bit ago. And anyways, thanks so much for spending time with me this morning, and I appreciate everybody who stops by. And if you have any suggestions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you soon.